Hello and welcome in. This is another episode of Cave Chatter. I'm here with Cameron and myself, Justin. It is now August 16th, and we are here with some top 5 rookies and some breakouts and bust predictions. Once again, thank you for listening in, or if you're watching on YouTube, we truly appreciate our fans.
Little wave to the camera right
there. Yeah, I liked it. That was nice. How you doing today, Cameron?
Doing good. Just excited to continue talking about the rankings that we have here. Again, I'll say it every week, but it's been fun doing this. So the more episodes that we can push out, the more that we can sit here and talk about this, the more excited it makes me.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about being able to do back-to-back days of podcasts.
Yeah.
Getting that content out there for our fans.
Yeah, I'm sure that hopefully that the people enjoy that.
Yeah.
We'll try to do that. Maybe 2 shows a week, here coming up. As football season approaches a little faster, we'll just try to find things that people want to hear. Like you said, today we've got our rookie rankings.
For
offensive rookie rankings, yes. Basically our top 5. And we're not going to go too deep into it. And then we also have some breakout and some bust candidates for you guys. Some guys who we think are going to have a good year. Some guys who we think maybe are not going to have their best season this year.
Correct, yeah. So we are missing Brooks today. So we will miss him today on this show. Eventually I will have a cardboard cutout for whoever's missing.
Ooh, there we go.
In a Packers jersey.
No, punishment. So that
A-Rod right here. If you're watching,
yeah,
if you want to buy this jersey, go to fanatics.com. Great place to get jerseys.
Plug?
Huh?
So is that a plug for Fanatics?
No. Hopefully, if they watch this one day, I'll get a free jersey. I'm going to try to wear a different jersey every podcast one of these days.
That would be the ultimate goal. Get your favorite player from each 32 teams.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And rotate them?
Well, maybe, 29 teams? Because I'm not buying that.
Well, if you lose some weight, I'll let you wear some of mine.
Are you serious? Maybe if I shrink down 3 or 4 inches. But I'm not going to buy I'm not buying an Eagles jersey. Not buying a Giants or
I'm
a
not
Washington
buying a Vikings.
Yeah. So that's why I said 29 teams.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm not buying a Favre Vikings jersey because that's kind of like...
There you go. At least it's one of your favorite players. Yeah. Just not necessarily the team that you want them to be on.
Exactly. Well, before we get started here on the top 5 offensive rookies, do you have anything you want to share, Cameron? Anything you've seen today?
One little tidbit that I heard while listening to the radio today, sports talk here in Dallas. So we talked briefly about Dak Prescott yesterday on yesterday's podcast on how we're kind of feeling on if we're worried a little bit. Yesterday I had said that their plan was to still play him in that last preseason game to get him a few reps before the regular season starts on the Thursday night against the Bucs. But what I'm hearing today is that it's more likely that he won't be getting any preseason reps.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
No additional strain on the injury. They're just saying that as of now, they're just trying to bring him back slowly. With where the injury is, it's in his lat muscle, so it's a throwing arm. So they just don't want to push him, if they don't need to. I think it's just one of those things to where it's a preseason game anyway. There's no need to throw him out there. He'll still get some reps against the first team defense in practice, and that's all you need.
That makes sense. I mean, you don't want to risk it. The guy's going to be solid.
Yeah, like I said, they were hoping to get him some reps in that last preseason game, but now it looks like not going to be that way. I'm not dropping him in my quarterback rankings.
Honestly, the only reason I'm pretty bummed that he's not playing is I want to see how many times he feeds CeeDee Lamb the ball. Because I think he's going to have a good year, but I don't have anything to go off of. I want to know how many times he's going to get targeted.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot of targets last year while Dak was in there.
Yeah.
But, for those on YouTube, maybe you can see it. We've actually got the Cowboys practice on the TV right now. They just happen to be on the TV.
Yeah, they need it.
That is where you would be able to see how much he's going to target. Ooh, nice little catch. That's how you're going to be able to see, kind of the pass distribution. Dak definitely has a rapport with Amari already, with Gallup already.
That's what I'm worried about.
With CD, I think they're all three going to be great this year. And that's not just a Cowboys homer thought. I think if you ask anybody around the league, any fantasy expert around the league, it's good to be, you're going to feel confident about all three of those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate that. That's some good advice right there. One thing I got before we get started is I shot myself in the foot again today. Joined my 9th fantasy league.
Jeez.
I got an exclusive invite to a really competitive league that I couldn't turn down. There's 14 teams, 2 quarterbacks, and 4 individual defensive players. So it's going to be super competitive.
That's almost every single starting quarterback in the NFL right there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've never done a 14-team league.
That's a lot. You have to do a lot of prep if you're going to be in a 14-team league.
It is a very, very hard league, and it's actually called Bloodbath.
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. So
yeah.
9th league, but
yeah, it's 9 leagues.
I only get to do it for 8 months out of the year. So
yeah, I'm going to be in 3 leagues. I'm committed to 3 so far.
Yeah.
There's always a last minute one where somebody asks you to be in it. You might have to turn that down this year. You're already in too many. But
well, I was going to do. I think we should do a fan vote, and I think me, you, and Brooke should control one team. In a league.
Okay. In a random league on whatever
maybe
site.
Or we could do one with our fans.
Okay. Yeah.
And they try to beat us.
I like the sound of that.
And if whoever wins the league can get like maybe one episode on the show.
Oh, like a little guest appearance on a show next year.
Yeah.
I like the thought of that. Yeah.
So
it's something to
something I was thinking about today.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll get started. I got our top 5 offensive rookies. Cameron, take it away.
Yeah, so we're going to go through, like we said earlier, our 5 offensive rookies. These are guys who we expect to have good years immediately right out of the gate. So my number 5 rookie that I have right now is going to be Javonte Williams, running back out in Denver, rookie out of North Carolina. He was taken in the 2nd round in this past draft with the 3rd pick. He's going to be my only 2nd rounder that I have in my top 5. The rest are going to be 1st round picks. But I love the way the dude plays. He got, I believe it was 5 carries in their first preseason game last week. Everything I'm seeing, and I was already high on him coming out of the draft. Him and Michael Carter, both of those North Carolina running backs, I think were a driving force of their offense last year. So from what I've been seeing, what I've been reading is he was really impressive in their first preseason game. He's currently on their depth chart, their 2nd stringer.
Is he really?
But their starter is Melvin Gordon, who's hurt currly and
last year he was awful.
Yeah, I don't think, if this is 5 years ago, Melvin Gordon's a top 5, top 10 running back in your fantasy draft, but it's not 5 years ago. It's 2021, and they drafted Williams with their first 2nd round pick for a reason. They like this kid. And I do see him eventually becoming the starter over there. And yeah. I like what
so do I. I drafted him 3 times last week in 3 drafts. So I got him like the 13th round.
Yeah, and I think we've talked pretty good about him in a couple episodes already.
I don't think we have.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I'll commit my name to that, yeah.
I don't think I have.
All right, who you got at number 5?
5, I got Jamar Chase.
Okay.
I think I was gonna rank him higher, but I've been seeing a lot of negative articles about him. I've drafted him also in pretty much every league I'm in so far, but I've seen that he isn't getting a lot of separation, not creating space, so it kind of slid him down my ranking a little bit. But obviously he had 20 touchdowns last year at Ohio State. Or not LSU, my bad.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He sat out last year.
Then he was All-American, so he's going to have a good year. I don't know why I said Ohio State.
They're big school. Yeah, it's easy to get the big schools confused.
Yeah,
there's a few of them.
No, I think because I was thinking of Chase Young.
Oh, yeah, Chase.
Popped up in my
head. That makes sense.
But yeah, I got him at 5. Who you got at 4?
Well, I'm a little higher on Jamar Chase than you are, and we'll get to that a little bit later. A little quick tease. My number 4, I have Kyle Pitts.
Okay, I have him on mine.
Okay, yeah, I don't think there needs to be much discussion here. Kyle Pitts was the 4th overall pick in this past year's draft.
Yes.
A tight end.
He looks like a receiver.
A tight end was the 4th overall pick in the draft. Atlanta had a lot of needs. I felt that they should have gone with a quarterback. Matt Ryan's getting really old, but they still like Matt Ryan. Yeah, and they obviously felt so comfortable about Kyle Pitts. He's a generational talent at tight end. I think he's going to come in right away and easily be the top rookie tight end, barring injury. There's no competition for him there. And he's basically, I know we went over this yesterday, he's basically like a wide receiver body in a tight end position. He can do anything from the skill set position that he's at. Him at number 4, I'm very comfortable with him there. I could even see him going a little higher than number 4 in your rookie rankings.
Yeah. I have him higher than you, so we can disagree on that one. But he is in our top 5, so it's not too far off.
Well, that's why I said he could go higher, and I'm not going to argue with you on that.
My number 4 is I have Michael Carter from UNC.
Okay.
I think he is going to be a workhorse in New York, especially with a rookie quarterback, depending on him dumping off balls, feeding him the ball, getting a routine. I think he had over 1,000 yards rushing at UNC, if I'm correct. But he did fall to the 4th round. He is 5'8", so size is he's like kind of like a Darren Sproles.
He's a little guy, but his
prospect grade was a 6. I was shocked about that. Yeah. So, but I thought he showed some solid skill at UNC with Dak Brown, but they fed him the ball a lot, so we'll see. But I do have him at 4. I think I have drafted him also pretty much in every draft so far as a late round sleeper. I just think the Jets are going to depend on him a lot. They don't have many weapons.
I do.
And a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I do like him. I do know they added Tevin Coleman in the offseason. So that's a veteran running back that they have.
Yeah.
But I definitely could see him overtaking him at some point.
Well, they said in recent articles they were saying that he was already 2 steps ahead of everybody else. So
I believe it. You're definitely higher on him than I am.
Well, he's not on your top 5. So
he's not in my top 5, and coincidentally, I have his college teammate in my top 5. So
who's that?
Javonte Williams from North Carolina. Yeah. So who they were both drafted this year. So a little difference there. No big deal.
Yeah. Okay. I have my 3. I bet we're the same here.
Well, you go first.
Travis Etienne.
No, we are not the same there.
Okay. So you don't have Travis at all?
He's not in my top 5, no.
Wow.
Well, you go first, and then maybe I'll try to. I don't want to poo-poo your pick here, but
well, I say Travis Etienne, especially in PPR. We saw what James Robinson did last year. He's gonna have a big year. Obviously, he has some big shoes to fill coming out of following James Robinson's rookie season. But I do think Trevor Lawrence had a lot to do with him getting picked. And so I think they're going to have some fun in the backfield for sure.
Okay. So, like I said, I don't have him in my top 5. I do have him in my top 10. I have him at number 8. For what you just said, James Robinson, who they have, who was the best rookie running back last year in terms of yardage. He was over 1,000 yards last year. And after watching the first Jacksonville preseason game, I was mainly watching to see Trevor Lawrence, but just obviously watching the game, I happened to notice, James Robinson is still the starter over there.
Yeah.
And they still like him. He's a really good running back. And even they added Carlos Hyde, who is a veteran running back that they want back there. So too many running backs in that room for me to feel comfortable having Etienne in my top 5.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's good to differ on that. It's good to have differing opinions.
Well, where my insight came from is I kind of see a Chubb and Hunt kind of duo in the future.
Okay.
They're both going to be really solid running backs, and so I could see them being a lot like that duo.
Well, then who would be the Chubb and who would be the Hunt?
Robinson
might be the Chubb in that scenario.
I think Robinson would be the Hunt because Hunt came in the league before Chubb, right?
Yeah, but I just mean in terms of
carries.
Chubb is clearly the number one guy in Cleveland. Hunt's number 2.
I think this year Robinson might get more touches.
Yeah.
But overall, I think as things progress, ETN would take that number one spot.
If this were like dynasty type rankings, I would be much higher on ETN. Although all these guys that we're gonna mention are gonna be great dynasty picks, great 1 year picks.
Now we're redrafting this year too.
Yeah.
We want to take these rookies, but do we want to crash our whole first season?
Yeah, I mean,
or not crash, but it's
not
a gamble.
necessarily tank.
It's a gamble,
but yeah, take all of these young guys. Okay, so that was your number 3, right?
Yeah.
For me at number 3, I've got Devontae Smith. Shout out to JR out there. I did put an Eagle in my top 5 rankings. Shocker, I know. We hate the Eagles on this podcast, but I'm not opposed to...
Who hates the Eagles?
We.
I don't have a problem with the Eagles.
Okay, well, most of us... Me and Brooks do.
I thought it was pretty sweet when T.O. got smacked.
No. So I've got Demonte Smith at number 3. He's already listed as the number 1 receiver on their depth chart. He was the 10th pick in this draft. The Eagles have had a need for years now for a number 1 wide receiver. It seems they take a guy every single year. Last year they took, now I'm blanking on his name. The guy out of, out of TCU.
Aguilar?
No, but Aguilar is another guy who they had, who they thought was going to be really good.
Talking about.
Here I got it. Jalen Reagor.
Yes.
That was their first round pick last year.
Decent year.
No, he was hurt quite a bit. The big thing there was they passed on Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And then picked Jalen Reagor. Yeah. So Devontae Smith, they spent another first round pick this year on their receiver. They need to have a franchise number 1 receiver in there, and they are going to do everything possible to make that Devontae Smith. Plus, him and Hurts already have a little bit of a rapport being from Alabama. Obviously, Hurts ended up graduating from playing at OU and getting
he might have graduated,
getting drafted from there. He probably didn't graduate, not yet. I mean, at some point maybe. Good for him.
But see, J.R. Smith is at college.
North Carolina A&T, right?
Playing golf.
Yeah, that's nice. I did see that.
Sorry, side note.
No, you're fine. But yeah, so him and Hurts already have a little bit of a rapport there. So I think they're going to click instantly. I'm not too big on Hurts as a passer, but for having Devontae Smith there is definitely going to boost each of their stocks. Yeah. So I've got him at number 3.
Or Alshon Jeffrey. Is he still on their team when he get released?
I can check real quick.
Because that guy, I had him in fantasy our first year of our dynasty. He went off, and then after that, just got hurt.
I don't think he's on the Eagles anymore.
He get released?
Well, it does say current team Eagles, but I was looking at the depth charts, and he's not on the Eagles depth chart. He might be hurt right now. I don't. You know, if the Eagles were good, I would spend more time worrying about them, but they're not good this year.
I think they're going to win that division. Them or Washington.
They don't. So that was my number 3 pick. My number 2, not number 3 pick, my number 3 ranking. My number 2 in my rookie rankings for this year is going to be Naji Harris. Naji Harris, running back in Pittsburgh, out of Alabama, obviously. Again, drafted in the first round. The Pittsburgh Steelers spent a first-round pick on a running back. They let James Conner walk in free agency. Naji Harris already is the number 1 running back on their depth chart. They plan on using him as a workhorse back. He's already, I believe, even in some, you can find some rankings out there where Naji Harris is a top 10 overall running back for fantasy this year. I have him at number 12 overall. So that's why I'm very comfortable putting him in my number 2 spot for my rookie rankings. I think he's going to have a huge year.
I agree. I've been trying to get him in drafts every week, and I can't get him because I don't want to reach, and he's always taken right before I can get him.
He's the kind of guy who I could see, because there is a lot of hype around him right now. I definitely could see him being a guy where I don't want to call it a reach because, like I said, I have him at number 12.
Lots of
but I could see him going maybe a little sooner, like maybe a few picks, maybe a round sooner than he should.
He's been going 4 through 6.
round?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a great spot then.
Yeah, I've been trying to get him in the 5th, 6th, and it's like.
But I think maybe you could see some people out there taking him over maybe some better options. Not many better options, but I could see people taking him over some other guys.
Well, based off my history, he's been taken before Gibson a lot.
Ooh,
Miles
really?
Sanders.
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
And the last one that I saw him get taken before was what's his name from
Not Jonathan Taylor.
Not Jonathan Taylor. Detroit Swift.
Oh, Deandre Swift.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the only one that you just meant, like most of them, I agree with. I probably wouldn't take him over Gibson. Although I do have them in my rankings. I have Gibson and Harris back to back.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he's been taking before Gibson, but I think it's because Fitz is there, and Fitz doesn't dump the ball off a lot. Last year, Gibson did have Alex Smith and Haskins.
But he wasn't there. Last year, Gibson was, because coming out of, because last year he was a rookie.
Yeah, because McKissick.
Coming out of Memphis, he was actually a wide receiver. And
yes.
He split time between receiver and running back, and last year was his first year being a full-time running back, so I know Washington wanted to kind of ease the process of that. Mm-hmm. So they did have J.D. McKissick back there, who I think McKissick had like 80 catches last year, or something insane like that, who I even picked him up on the waiver wire last year, and he did some good things for me. But, I could definitely see Naji Harris having a Gibson-type year, or even like I thought Jonathan Taylor was going to have a great year last year. He ended up having a really good year. He ended up passing 1,000 yards rushing. It just took him a little longer because of the guys in front of him. I can see Naji Harris getting, 1,200 yards this year, 200, almost 250 carries. Like I think they're going to work him
easily. Yeah, my number 2, I got Kyle Pitts. So
okay,
that's what I was saying. I got him up there. He's I think he's gonna have a huge year, especially with Julio gone.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Ridley are gonna be.
Yeah. I think they could both top 1,000
yards.
yards.
Oh yeah. And over 100 receptions.
Each?
Yeah.
Maybe. They do have some other guys off the top of my head. I think they still have Russell Gage. Maybe.
Yeah, they do.
But yeah, I could see. And what was that? So only 3 teammates last year went over 1,000 yards each.
Lockett, Metcalf.
Was it Robbie Anderson,
DJ
Moore,
and probably Cooper and.
I can't remember who the third one was. No, I can't remember who the third one was. But yeah, like you said, I could definitely see that happening this year.
Yeah,
that's how good Kyle Pitts is.
Oh, for sure. Who's number 1?
So my number 1 is going to be Jamar Chase.
Okay.
You had him at 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You kind of said some bad things about him earlier. So I don't like that you did that.
Well, if you read the articles.
Oh, you want to read the articles?
The only reason I know these is because I drafted him, and then I started reading all the negative stuff about him.
Well, don't do that. You know why? He was the 5th overall pick in the draft. Cincinnati has so many needs on their offensive line.
Yeah.
And they still drafted this receiver who was the clear-cut number 1 receiver in this year's draft. Like I said, sat out last year, but the year before that with Joe Burrow. Them two obviously had that connection at LSU. They lit the world on fire.
Trust me. I got you. I'm about to tell you how many times I drafted this man while you keep talking.
Yeah, so, I feel very, very confident about Jamar Chase being my number 1 rated rookie this year. Like I said, him and Joe Burrow already have some familiarity, so there's no worry about, the quarterback and a rookie receiver not being on the same page. Like I said, there's no worry of that. I think from the get-go, he's going to be a stud. They do have some good weapons in Cincinnati. They have Tyler Boyd and they have T. Higgins. So it's not like he's going to be the clear-cut number 1 option over there, which might sound like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing because he's not necessarily going to see the defense's number 1 corner every year or every week. So it's good that you have other weapons around him so that he's not going to be playing that number 1 corner. He's not going to be getting double teamed or anything. Yeah. So I could see him having over 1,000 yards this year, multiple touchdowns. He's a great deep threat. He's just an all-around wide receiver. Just like
Juju and AJ Brown, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, when Juju was actually good.
Yeah,
that was a good,
same thing. He
good
kept,
duo.
Yeah,
when Juju benefited from Antonio Brown having all the tough matchups every week. Now, early in the year, Jamar Chase is not going to be getting the top coverage, but I think after he has some good games, he'll start to see the number one corners. But like I said, I believe in the talent that's there, and I think he can beat anybody.
So I've done 5 drafts so far, and I've gotten in all 5 drafts.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Man, well, I'm going to make sure in our dynasty draft that you don't.
Oh.
I think he's the kind of guy who in a dynasty league is going to go much, much higher than he would in a 1-year league.
Yes.
Because, obviously, rookie with Joe Burrow there, they're going to be a great duo for many, many years in Cincinnati.
So, moving on. My number 1 is Naji Harris.
Okay.
I think we've already talked enough about him, the promises he has, and I think he's going to be a key component to the offense this year, especially Big Ben getting up there in age. I think they're gonna rely on him a lot. So I think that's my number 1. So the recap, I got Jamar at 5, Michael Carter at 4, Travis Etienne at 3, Kyle Pitts at 2, and Naji Harris at number 1.
And then for me, from 5 to 1, I've got Javonte Williams, running back in Denver, Kyle Pitts, Devonta Smith, Naji Harris, and Jamar Chase.
Awesome. Well, I do think we're pretty spot on in those top 5 rookies. I think that's a lot of good advice for out there for our fans and our listeners.
And we've got some differering names too.
Yes.
We're not just repeating the same things over and over again.
And a lot
of
people don't know much about rookies.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you play in Dynasty League, that's the only time you really pay attention.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an eye-opener for some people for their drafts, some late-round picks. But moving on, before we get to our breakouts and bust, we're going to mention our sponsor here, the Detail Guys. Have you ever wished there was a way to have a clean car without having to find the time or put in the effort? Those Detail Guys is a mobile car cleaning service that allows you to get your car cleaned from the comfort of your own home or even while you're at work. They offer basic washes, full interior details, and even monthly packages that ensure your ride is always clean. Save 25% on a standard detail package from those Detail Guys by sending them a message on Facebook or Instagram at thosedetailguys.com or at Those Detail Guys through their website, and let them know that the Cave Chatter crew sent you by sending them the code CAVECHATTER. Awesome. Well, I do think you need to go follow them, hit them up, get your car cleaned. They do a great job. Look them up on Facebook. They got some nice before and after pictures. So here we go. We're going to lead into our bust and breakouts.
First, doing bust there.
We're going to do our let's have some fun with it. Let's do our bust quarterbacks first.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, let's crap on some guys first, and then we'll come back and then we'll say some good things about some other guys.
Yeah. So I'll let you start.
So my bust quarterback for this year is going to be Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger.
Hate on the man.
He's old, man. I don't like him already, and just the fact that he's coming off an injury from last year. He had an elbow injury, and he just cannot throw the ball downfield anymore. All he does, he's turned into your worst nightmare as a fan, and that's a dink and dunk quarterback. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. He just looks for anything short that he can.
But do you think it's because their O-line's so bad?
No, and I will say the one good thing is they do have some good receivers who do some good things with run after the catch. Obviously, they have Deontay Johnson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then Chase Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ben Roethlisberger, with his age, he can't move like he did before. One of the great things he used to do was he didn't take sacks. He could extend plays, which allowed time for his receivers to get open, and he would be able to find whoever's open and gotten away from the corner because he was able to extend plays with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
In his old age, I don't know if you've ever seen the videos in practice where they throw the pads at him to avoid the rush, he just knocks him away.
Also, you gotta see all the pictures of him dropping back, and there's 15 defenders around him, and there's only 11 guys on the field. So
yeah, well, he
is surrounded every play.
Yeah, but yeah. So I do not believe in Roethlisberger. He actually did finish as the 14th quarterback last year, but I see that being much lower this year. I don't even have him in my top 20.
Well, yeah. I only have him top 20.
Yeah. So Ben Roethlisberger, bust quarterback. There's a big old from me. Who's your guy? Yes, there we go. Finally, we have an appropriate time to use the awful sound effects that we have. And that's one time that I will approve of the sound effect, and it's for Ben Roethlisberger.
Of course. All right, well, my bus, obviously y'all know that I can't stand this man. Last year, he screwed me over to the point where I had to stress out all year.
Mm-hmm.
Still won a championship because I'm the greatest GM of all time. But, man, I almost had a heart attack. Tua.
There you go. I was going to say, just say his name.
I got so mad. I had Fitz as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
They randomly just benched the man after he's thrown for 600 yards in the first 2 games.
There we go.
And then they just randomly bench him and then bring in Tua with his little dump-off passes, hitting his tight end in the back of the head, all kinds of crap.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guy sucks. I think he should have never gotten drafted where he got drafted. And honestly, I just think watching him throw football just makes me want to cry. His mechanics, everything's awful.
Yeah, I will say...
Like they made fun of Tebow, but he's 10 times worse.
I wouldn't go that far. I will say... I do think that Miami should have drafted Herbert over him.
Yes.
Obviously, after last year played out, sure, that there's no argument there. There's no way you could debate that. Going into the draft, I thought that Herbert was a better option than Tua, but I don't hate Tua the way you do, and that might be a little foreshadowing for a little bit later. So you have Tua as your bust.
Yes, and he's going to go. He's just going to get lower and lower.
Okay.
And this year, I think honestly, he'll be benched by like week 10.
For who?
I don't know. Somebody who knows how to throw a football.
Let me see who their backup is in Miami right now. I don't even know. Obviously, like they ran Fitzpatrick out of town.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Oh, their backup is Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, he'll take his job.
Okay, that's an average.
Way better quarterback.
That's a good backup. But okay, who do you have next? What position do you want to go to next for bust?
We can go to wide receiver.
Okay,
I think I have the best one here.
For bust? Okay, for my bust wide receiver, it's going to be Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks in Houston.
Is he even a bust? When's the last time he had a good season?
That's a good question because last year he had a good season.
Really?
Last year he had 81 catches. He had
a good season.
He had over 1,100 receiving yards.
Oh wow, and 81
and 6 touchdowns. Yeah, he
was in where was he last?
He's in Houston.
Houston.
Obviously, last year he had Deshaun Watson.
Right. Will Fuller was there.
Yes, Will Fuller. Obviously, Deshaun Watson was his quarterback last year.
As a bust.
Yeah, so I have him as a bust this year
with Fuller out of town.
Yes, because
Watson.
Yes, Watson's not going to be their quarterback this year.
Who says?
He's not. I will bet you good money that Watson's not going to play.
He's at practice talking to the...
Watson's literally already listed as their 4th quarterback on the depth chart. Watson is not playing for Houston. Right now, their quarterback is Tyrod Taylor, who I actually like Tyrod Taylor. I've always liked him when he was in Buffalo. But that being said, Houston is just a dumpster fire right now. I'm not taking anybody on Houston on their offense. And so because Brandon Cooks is probably the most high-profile fantasy player on that offense, I'm going to say steer clear of him. I don't trust anything that Houston's going to do this year. I think they could be 2-14. Or there's 17 games this year, so they'll be lucky to win 3, maybe 4 games. They're not going to be good.
But honestly, I have something. I think Watson's going to start.
There's no way.
I don't know.
There's almost a 0% chance Watson starts for Houston.
Oh, well, I have to think about Rodgers.
He's publicly requested a trade.
Oh, I know, but he's at practice.
Not because he wants to be.
What do you mean? People say that all the time.
Watson does not want to be there.
Why is he there then?
Well, because they're not just going to... They're asking prices too high for anybody.
But why can't he just stay home like everybody else does that when they sit out?
He had already requested a trade before all the legal stuff came out.
Yeah.
And
he's getting out of Houston because he got some dirty stuff going on.
Maybe he... it's possible that he knew some things were in the works and he said, I don't want to be in Houston anymore, hoping to get away from it. But Houston stood pat and were like, no, we're not trading you. And why would, before all that, I was like, why would we trade you?
Yeah.
But, so, all that to say, Brandon Cooks, steer clear of anybody on the Texans.
Yeah, for sure. I have Galladay. Obviously, Galladay is a solid receiver.
Kenny Galladay.
Yes, Kenny Galladay. But, as y'all know, how much I can't stand Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is your quarterback, your career is going to die. So, that's my bust. I think he's going to go to New York to literally watch his career go down in flames.
Yeah, that one's tough for me because I've always liked Kenny Galladay. I've had him.
So have I.
I've had him for 3 or 4 years in our dynasty league when he was in Detroit. He was great. Him and Matthew Stafford had a great connection. He had several games where he would go over like 200 yards. He's a really, really good receiver. The first disappointment was whenever I saw that he signed with the Giants this year.
Why is that?
I was like, crap. He's one of my more favorite receivers in the NFL, and now he's playing for the Giants, so I can't root for him anymore. But then, like you said, Daniel Jones is his quarterback. I also, but I wouldn't go as far as putting the bust label on him this year because he is, like I said, he still does have the talent to be a really good or a great wide receiver. Just obviously his quarterback.
Well, and Daniel Jones has those deep balls though. He might throw them.
Yeah. Plus old Jason Garrett's system. You know how much he loves to use the running back.
Yes.
With Saquon going to be healthy this year, I think they're going to try to utilize him a lot. So we'll see on that one.
Awesome. Yeah, so running back, I have, don't hate me on this, Deandre Swift for bust.
Okay.
Only reason I think that is I don't think he's going to have a huge bust, like where we think he's just going to have an awful season. I think he's going to be a bust compared to what people's expectations are for him.
Okay.
Because Jamal Williams is there. Jamal Williams is a solid running back who hasn't had a time of day as a starter. Even when he was out rushing Aaron Jones in Green Bay, Aaron Jones still got the passes, the more reps, more touches. But when Jamal got the ball, he made stuff happen. So I really do think him having an opportunity to be RB1, he might have some upside there. So I have also drafted Jamal Williams in like 4 leagues.
Yeah, I think they still really like DeAndre Swift.
I do too. I just think he's going to be a bust compared to expectations.
Yeah, I will say, because I drafted DeAndre Swift last year in our rookie draft of our dynasty. And I think that Detroit wanted him to take over as their number 1 running back.
But he didn't.
But he had some miscues along the way. So they still drafted him high. I can't remember. I think they drafted him in the 2nd round, maybe.
Is the other guy still there?
No, Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, whatever happened to him? He was a bust.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be really
He was solid in college.
Yeah, out of Auburn, I did like him a lot. But, like I said, DeAndre Swift, I still think Detroit wants him to be the starter. I believe he is the starting running back as of now.
Yeah.
I just don't think Detroit's going to be a very good team.
Mm-hmm. Their O-line's awful.
Yeah, and Jared Goff is their quarterback now. So
he's a bust as well.
Yeah, that's a decent bust pick that you have there. For mine, I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin.
Okay.
Myles Gaskin out of Miami.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Future insight. It's going to get a little crazy.
Oh, yeah, I know. So Myles Gaskin, as of now, is not even the starting running back in Miami. Malcolm Brown,
no chance.
Malcolm Brown got the start in their Week 1 preseason game.
So did Ben DiNucci. Is he the starter of the Dallas Cowboys?
Ben DiNucci didn't start last week. It was Garrett Gilbert.
Oh, my bad. The other third-string quarterback from Texas.
Well, they're backups anyway. But this is like where they were actually playing starters. So
they started.
I think it's a because he's still their starting quarterback. Malcolm Brown got the share of the carries last week. And they really like Malcolm Brown a lot. I think he is a much more physical runner than Gaskin. Gaskin still does some good things. I think he was a really good fantasy player last year. Although, who was the second running back? He split time with, I forget his name. There was another running back he split time with last year. But only finished with less than 600 yards, even though he got almost 150 carries last year.
Well, they also threw the ball a ton last year.
Yeah, they did. But I'm not high on Myles Gaskin, whereas I'm seeing a lot of people are pretty high on Myles Gaskin. I think Malcolm Brown is a good running back. They do a lot of similar things. At the very least, I think they're going to share a lot of the workload down there. So that in itself is going to detract from the upside that Myles Gaskin can have this year.
Yeah. So I agree.
That's why he's going to be my bust running back.
To follow up on that, I am going to just lead into
our breakout players.
My breakout running back is the one and only Myles Gaskin. I think he is going to have a huge year this year. Like you said, whoever was there last year with him splitting time, I forgot who it was, but we need to find out.
I can see if you keep talking, I can see.
I think my son's crying. So if you hear baby in the background, yes.
Dang, baby?
Yeah, he probably missed me. But yes, Myles Gaskin, I think, is going to have a huge year, so I'm going to lock that in. That's my running back breakout. So who do you got for your running back breakout?
So for my running back breakout this year, it's going to be a guy that I'm really, really high on, J.K. Dobbins. And so J.K. Dobbins is, obviously he was, I believe, the number 2 running back last year because they still had Mark Ingram over there. But I think J.K. Dobbins does anything you want. He still had over 800 yards last year, 9 touchdowns, even while splitting reps with Mark Ingram and Justice Hill, the 3rd running back down there, or up there in Baltimore. So with Mark Ingram gone, I think J.K. Dobbins is poised to have a breakout year to be the lead running back in Baltimore, where they already have a run-heavy system. Yeah, I think he's the big guy for me.
I can see that happen. All right. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. So, number 2, I guess we would go to wide receiver breakouts. I'm sure if anyone has listened to our show, has been a fan of us, has been paying attention to who we like, I'm sure they're going to start paying attention, seeing who we talk about, who we think. Mm-hmm. Obviously, to get to my point, is I think Marvin Jones is going to have a breakout season for sure. Mm-hmm. He finally has a real quarterback. He finally had a real team. I'm not hating on Matthew Stafford.
It sounds like you are.
I take that back. I like Matthew Stafford.
There you go.
He finally has a real team.
Yeah.
So I think Trevor Lawrence and him. I think Lawrence as a rookie is going to rely on a veteran receiver a lot. So I think he's going to have a breakout here because he had almost 1,000 yards last year with Galladay there. Mm-hmm. So him having more time to shine, be the number 1, I think he's going to have a good time.
Okay. I like that pick as well. I think he's been a really good receiver already. Not to try to diminish it or anything you're saying. He's had some really, really good seasons in Detroit. Obviously, last year, Galladay was hurt for a lot of the year, and Marvin Jones seamlessly took over as the number 1 receiver. So I do like that. And, of course, we mentioned, if you were listening on yesterday's podcast, we mentioned that we like Marvin Jones down in Jacksonville this year.
Yes.
Got a good connection with Trevor Lawrence, so I like that pick.
Awesome.
My wide receiver breakout candidate for this year is going to be Tre'Quan Smith. Tre'Quan Smith down in New Orleans.
He's a single man over there.
Yeah, because...
nobody.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that one. I was like, oh no, have you been stopping?
Yeah, that's why I paused, because you kind of weird.
I thought you were getting into the dating game.
No, he's all by himself. His own lonely island with no quarterback.
He is already slotted in as the number 2 receiver in New Orleans this year.
Number 1?
Michael Thomas is still number 1. But Michael Thomas is hurt as of right now. Yeah. Michael Thomas is disgruntled with New Orleans, I guess. He's been posting some cryptic, or at least one cryptic Instagram story.
Crypto, Dogecoin.
Yeah, he may want to get out of New Orleans. There's been some talk, although I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Because why would you trade Michael Thomas? But he may. There's
cancer to the team.
Well, I was going to say, there's been some chatter out there about maybe some Michael Thomas trades being floated around. Obviously, if that happens, that would just boost Tre'Quan Smith even more. Yeah. But as of now, he's the number 2 receiver down in New Orleans. So I like the potential that he has. He's a burner. Mm-hmm. He's got some real speed threat. He can take the top off the defense if you want to throw it downfield to him. He also does really well on the little wide receiver screens or a little bubble pass to him. I think he's poised to have a really, really good year this year.
Yeah. All right. I could see that. Now that you bring it up, I didn't even think about him. So I agree with it. I like that one. Quarterback, boom or breakout, not
there
boom.
There we go. Yeah. You were trying to go to that boom and bust again.
Yeah, it just flows. Breakout player. I'm going to say quarterback.
Uh-oh.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, gosh.
I think the guy has lots of talent, has lots of weapons. And I think he's going to make it happen in Philly. And I think he's going to go 2-0 against the Cowboys. So,
again, you do not actually think that.
I do. Jalen Hurts.
You don't realistically think that. You don't actually think that Philly's going to beat Dallas both games.
I do.
Okay.
Because Dallas' defense.
Do you want to bet on it? I didn't think so. I will. Obviously, that'll be off air. But Jalen Hurts. Obviously, JR's not going to be happy with this. He's an average NFL quarterback. He does more on the ground game than he does passing. I do like that they added Devontae Smith. Obviously, we already
with Aguilar.
Just a little earlier. No, not Aguilar. With
Aguilar's there.
No.
He gone?
He's in Vegas.
Oh, that's right. My bad.
Yeah.
Rager.
There we go, Jalen Rager.
Yeah, I thought Aguilar. Yeah,
they still have Greg. Yeah, they still have Greg Ward, who did some good things. But Devontae Smith is really going to boost Jalen Hurts, and I think that's the only way that he is a breakout for this year. I won't say only way, because like I just said earlier, he does some really good things with his legs. Every week, he had several 100-yard rushing games last year in the short time that he played,
and 200 pass.
So I'm curious to see how defenses are going to scheme against him this year. I would imagine they're going to try to limit his running this year. Obviously, he was a rookie. There wasn't a plan out against him.
Yeah.
So I think with a full offseason, knowing that he's going to be their starter, I think teams are going to try to scheme him a little differently, try to keep him inside the pocket and have him beat you with his arm. If that's the case and he's not able to get a lot of the rushing yards and rushing touchdowns that he did last year, I think that's a scary proposition for him fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
But I would say he does some good things with his legs. So
all the time.
That's the key to him having a really good year.
Well, yes, that. But also, I think the guy, he plays a lot like Justin Fields. If you watch him, they move around a lot in the pocket the same way. They scramble the same way. They almost have the same throwing mechanics.
Maybe fair. However, Justin Fields has the arm talent to go with it.
Yes.
Not that Jalen Hurts is a bad thrower. He made some bad decisions last year where he didn't trust his arm or he didn't trust his receivers, whatever the case may be. He definitely scrambled a lot. Justin Fields, who I love this year, I love going forward.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Well, I was just watching them, and they do move around a lot the same way.
That's fair. I think I can see that.
But yeah, overall, Jalen is way better than Tua. So
okay.
Tua should have transferred, not Jalen. So Nick Saban, listen up.
Yeah.
In the future, don't make that mistake.
I think
either way, he won a national championship.
It sounded like I was trashing your pick there. I'm not trashing.
Oh, he was trashing JR.
Yeah. Hey, I said Devontae Smith's gonna be good, so that's my Eagles love for the day, maybe even for the year.
Yeah.
So
you know who my favorite Cowboy is?
CD?
No.
Zeke?
Dez. When he dropped that ball.
You already tried to make this joke on our first.
Yeah,
episode.
but it's my favorite joke.
And you hear that? That's how many people who laughed at that. No, not that. No, I'm in the dead air. But just a smooth transition into my breakout quarterback candidate. It's going to be his college teammate. It's going to be Tua.
Oh my gosh.
Your bust for the year? Don't even. Okay. Yeah.
Awful.
First thing
Worst
on the
quarterback
agenda
in the NFL besides Daniel Jones.
First thing on the agenda for next week is to get the master controls away from you. Jeez. I mean, there's nothing that makes me want to just turn the microphone off faster than you pressing that.
There is when you tell me Tua's going to be a breakout player.
So here's my tidbit on Tua. I think last year was obviously not a good year for him. A lot of people already think he's not going to be a good quarterback.
He's awful.
I'm not gonna go that far.
They hated on Tim Tebow. The man at least made playoffs.
We're not going to go to 10-2. So Tua admitted in the offseason already that the big challenge for him last year was all the mental aspect of it. He said he didn't really know the playbook that well. Reading defenses was difficult for him in his first year.
You think he's going to get better at that?
Well, it's not something you get worse at.
Well, the guy.
So that's what he spent this offseason doing. Plus, last year he was coming off his hip surgery in college, so I think that limited his mobility some last year. He's got a full offseason this year. I think Tua's poised to have, at the very least, if you want to crap on him, at the very least, he's going to be better than he was last year. But
I disagree.
I hard disagree with you. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he could even finish as a top 15 fantasy quarterback this year.
Well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll find out like episode 30 this
year. Plus adding Jalen Waddle in the draft. They added to the receiving core. They added Will Fuller in the offseason. They're
going to do really well with Jacoby.
With Mike Gesicki already there, Devontae Parker already there. They've got the weapons around him. They want him to succeed. I think that he's going to have a lot better year than he did last year.
Well, I wanted Chris Davis to succeed. See how that played out. So, just because you want someone to succeed doesn't mean they're going to do good.
Chris Davis.
First baseman, Orioles.
Quit bringing up Chris Davis. Didn't you bring him up last week? Nobody wants to talk about Chris Davis here. Jeez. This ain't a baseball podcast. This is fantasy football.
I'm a big Chris Davis guy.
Yeah, you're the only person.
Because I wanted him to succeed.
Okay, well.
Just like Tua.
Okay. Continue.
Tua sucks. So, I think that's all we got for our breakouts and busts. Our top 5 offensive rookies. I think today's been a really insightful episode. Once again, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Go follow us on Instagram at cave_chatter. Send us your messages. Send us your drafts. We'll grade them. We'll have some fun. And we can't wait to be back next week.
Yeah, and also tell us how much you guys missed Brooks this week.
Yeah.
It was a little different doing a two-man podcast.
Yeah, me and Karen probably go back and forth more.
We probably
by ourselves.
Brooks is needed so that we don't go at each other's throat every week.
To blows.
Yeah, and I'm about to come to blows with you right now.
But awesome. We do appreciate y'all tuning in on YouTube. Thank you. Everybody tuning in, listening on Spotify. Thank you for that. Go subscribe on YouTube. Listen to us. Watch us. And we're ready to give out more and more fantasy insight every week. So thank you. Once again, I'm Justin.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm with Cameron. And we're out.
Peace.
Later.
We have to plug our socials again.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you say them.
Yeah. Oh, crap.
What? Did it not record?
It did, but it's doing a little loading circle now.
Okay. I mean, at the very least, that definitely recorded.
Yeah. It's a good backup for sure. Because I can pull the audio from here.
I was going to say that audio is good enough anyways.
That was good. 55 minutes.